Hey love bugs, welcome back to Sweat Now Drip Later, where we discuss all things wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. I'm Chantel Hansbrough, just a girl passionate about health and wellness, and I'm here to share my tips and gems with you. But first, let's get into this hair. I switched it up on y'all. A new color, a new cut, a new hairdo. My sister got me feeling myself, y'all. I'm gonna tag her Instagram in this part, you'll see it. She's a Dallas hairstyler, braids, silk press, locks, you name it. Boom. But today's topic, we will be discussing how I've been applying the hunger scale as an intuitive eater and how it's just been affecting my life for the better, changing it, and I've just been living such a better life, such a more positive life. Now, quick disclaimer, I am not a registered dietitian or a nutritionist, but I am a proud health and wellness content creator that just wants to share my tips that I came across from therapists, registered dietitians, binge eating counselors that has helped me personally since I've begun my journey of healing from my binge eating disorder. I honestly want nothing but to help you experience life to the fullest. So this is not me giving advice. This is me telling you how I've been applying everything I've been learning and how it's been helping me. You take what you want from this video, but I encourage you to seek help from a registered dietitian or medical professional, and also reach out to the National Eating Disorder Hotline. Now, before we hop in, you already know. You better hit that like button. You better hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Share to a friend so they can start winning, okay? Because we are letting go of diet culture, and I want y'all to be in this together, partnership. Remember that. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get into it. So we're talking about the hunger scale, and I know we're not talking about the scale that you stand on because that doesn't define your worth. I no longer step on the scale unless I'm at the doctor's office. So when talking about the hunger scale, this is an amazing tool that was referred to me to use, and baby, it has changed my life, and I just wanted to do the same for you. So I'm going to be sharing the helpful techniques and how I've been applying it to my life. And it has been a great way to allow my body to communicate to me when I'm hungry and also when I'm full. And it helps me avoid overeating and leaves me satisfied and full. And that's all I want for you. That's all God wants for you. And we're in this together. So after years of dieting, I was dependent on meal replacement shakes and intermittent fasting to tell me how much and when to eat, make me miss my body's natural hunger cue. Now, I don't know if you know, but your body has innate primal instincts that let you know when you're hungry or satisfied. Just like when a baby cries, it's hungry. It's telling you exactly what it wants, and it wants you to feed it to soothe their bellies, to avoid extended tantrums. And we've all seen babies push away their food when they've had enough. And that's because the baby trusts that its parents will supply them with more food. And God just brought a revelation full circle. So in the chapter of Exodus, it reads, "These are the Lord's instructions. Each household should gather as much as it needs. Pick up 2 quarts for each person in your tent." So the people of Israel did as they were told. Some gathered a lot, some gathered only a little. But when they measured it out, everyone had just enough. Those who gathered a lot had nothing left over, and those who gathered only a little had enough. Each family had just what they needed. Keyword needed. But some of them didn't listen, kept some until the morning, but by then it was full of maggots and had a terrible smell. Moses was very angry with them. And that was Exodus chapter 16, verse 16 through 20. Definitely read that. It's about manna and just understanding God will supply your needs. So I applied this to the hunger scale and the technique. When we struggle with overeating and binging, it's an uncomfortable sensation that brings you to the point to want to eat until discomfort. And growing up, I was conditioned to finish the food on my plate for multiple reasons that we won't get into until next time. But even past my fullness, And that's when I remember God will provide us all our needs, like literally enough food to leave us satisfied. So we don't have to rely on using food to comfort us, because He will provide you with peace and comfort you're looking for. Literally just enough food to satisfy you. Okay, now let's get into the hunger scale. Remember, I came across this information from researching, from speaking to registered dietitians, binge eating coaches, and nutritionists that has given me advice to use this. I'm just sharing my experience, okay? So let's get into the hunger scale. It ranges from a level of 1 through 10. 1 being extremely hungry, 10 being uncomfortably full. Baby, you don't want to be at either one of those notches, okay? So we're going to go through a list, and I'm going to just break it down and how it applies to me. So the first notch on the hunger scale is where you are beyond hungry. You may be experiencing a headache, dizziness, loss of concentration, and you're almost fainting. This is the stage where I typically always want to avoid for my health and safety. And like I said before, I used to experience these symptoms through restricting myself, from trying to do intermittent fasting. And that's just not an enjoyable lifestyle for me. And I'm choosing not to partake in that anymore. That's level 1. Number 2 on the hunger scale is where you feel irritable and you're experiencing hangry symptoms. Like, you need a Snickers. Like, you're upset, you're taking your anger out on everybody, you're just hungry, and it's really easy to try to ignore these cues when weight loss is your top priority. And sometimes the desire to be skinny will take you to some crazy extremes. And trust me, I've been there, okay? But we're growing past that together and honoring our hunger when your body is communicating it needs full. Okay, we're now getting into the comfortable eating zones on the hunger scale, which range from 3 to 6. So remember, it goes from 1 to 10. So 3 to 6 is the comfortable area that I've been suggested to eat on. So number 3 is when my stomach starts to feel empty and I have the urge to eat. And I try my best not to ignore this sign and push it off, because missing set meals throughout the day, I learned that it can lead for me to have the desire to overeat or binge out on the rest of my meals. I feel like, I didn't eat them calories in the morning, so now I got extra calories at dinner. And I'll try to avoid my hunger by chewing gum, chugging on water, drinking coffee. And my body is literally telling me I'm hungry, but I'm choosing to suppress my appetite and pushing off my hunger cues. And honestly, I love myself too much to do that and go back to that unhealthy habit, because I don't have to do anything to earn food. And I still struggle with it from time to time, but I remember placing weight loss over health does not serve me anymore, and that also isn't a form of self-love for myself. So when I'm hungry, I'm going to eat without guilt or shame. Okay, number 4 is when you start to think about food. This is when my body is telling me, hey, I'm hungry, and that's up to me to choose. Like, okay, Chantel, what do you want to eat? And I don't know about you. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I have been obsessing with food my entire life. Like, it lives in my head rent-free from the time I wake up to the time I'm going to sleep. I'm like, what's going to be for breakfast? What's going to be for lunch? What's going to be for dinner? Because I like food, okay? But this step, I like to take a moment to ask myself, what am I craving? Am I hungry for a snack, or am I hungry for a meal? Am I hungry for something sweet or savory? Do I want to eat with a fork, or do I want to bite into a sandwich? And I came up with these series of questions to create an inner dialogue with myself to help me choose something to eat that truly, and I mean truly, honors my cravings. Because I noticed while leaving diet culture, the transition isn't always easiest, and I would still have the conscious habit to choose meals that I knew that would promote weight loss. And taking time to ask myself those questions has helped me choose meals without guilt, and I end up picking a meal that I'm satisfied with. I end up eating a meal that honors my cravings, and that ends up helping me avoid the urge to binge out on something that I might have missed out on if I was restricting myself in a diet. So see what your body wants to eat, girl, and honor it. Number 5. Number 5 is where you begin to eat your meal or snack, and your body now has enough food and energy, leaving you physically satisfied. So, this is where I realize when I'm eating, wow, this meal is good, it's tasty, I feel good, and I know in a few more bites, I'll definitely be done. But I want a little more, and I don't want to feel stuffed. So, but I still know that I have room to eat, so I continue to eat without guilt or shame. So, this is my mid check in point. Okay, so number 6 is where you're full and satisfied. And I honestly used to struggle with this pretty bad, especially if I still have more food left. Like, I would want to ignore it and continue to eat. Like Chipotle, for example. It's usually hard to finish a burrito bowl in one sitting because it's a large portion of tasty food. And I'm gonna be honest, it's like I don't want to stop eating. Like, bump that. I'm gonna finish this thing because it's good. I pay my little $10 for it. I got my guacamole on it. It's just good and I want to finish eating it. But as I grow as an intuitive eater, and along with God helping me with his along the process, it's becoming easier to accept and honor my fullness when my body signals to me, hey, I'm full and satisfied. So I just put my little tin can on and take it home. Number 7 is the notch on the hunger scale, where you're past the point of satisfaction. Your body has communicated it's full, but your mind is saying keep going, so you're going to continue to eat. So the Chipotle, you're taking the 10 off and you're still eating. Now, I'm sure if you have noticed, now I'm not sure if you noticed, but we have exited out the comfortable eating zones 3 through 6, and we're now entering the zones 7 through 10, which are the uncomfortable eating zones. And I don't say that to scare you or make you feel bad about your eating choices. I'm just making you aware because this is something we're in together, baby. So remember, 3 to 6, comfortable, 7 through 10, uncomfortable. Okay, so number 8, your stomach is starting to hurt. This is where I'm starting to regret the amount of food that I ate, but it was so good, like I couldn't resist the urge. And this is the last area where I tried my hardest to avoid because I know it doesn't serve me. But honestly, recovery can be hard and it's not linear at all. And this is a step where I know I went too far or I think it's too late. And this is where I may think I'm going to overeat or already have overate, and I'm going to probably relapse on a binge. And sometimes when I get to this point, I like to verbally say, I am satisfied, like out loud. And the more I get in the habit of doing this, the more aware I become of my hunger levels, and it helps me to stop. Also, when I'm out to eat with friends, it's probably going to be weird for me to say at the dinner table, I'm satisfied. So what I like to do is have a loving and gentle dialogue with myself, just mentally, like letting myself know, like, hey, baby girl, it's okay to leave some food on the plate. It's okay to save it for later. You got a snack, you got leftovers, whoop de whoop. Or I like to place a napkin over my plate or immediately ask for a to-go box to help me avoid continue eating. And this has helped me a lot because it allows me to continue the evening with fun, and it helps me to be present with my friends and family. Now let's get into number 9, which is where you're really uncomfortable physically, and you can feel heavy, sluggish, and tired. And again, my goal is to always avoid levels 8 through 10 because this is when I know I have just blatantly ignored my hunger cues. During my binge, it was like I would black out and I would just eat to suppress my emotions because I'm bored, because I had a bad day, or I was just at a point where I no longer care. And when I experienced this level, coming back to reality, I always felt an extreme sense of disgust and regret. So before I get here, or even if I have arrived to this point, I try to say gentle affirmations. I try praying. And one thing I do, I call my best friend or I call my sister to distract me from the urge to binge. And finding a distraction like washing the dishes, taking a shower, or leaving the house has helped me tremendously from avoiding a binge or overeating, because if you moving around, you can't eat, like unless you just really choosing to multitask. But last but not least, there's Thanksgiving stuff. This is level 10. Here you are beyond full, you don't want to move, your stomach might feel bloated, and you could be experiencing pain or like shortness of breath. And this is a point that's definitely not enjoyable to reach. I haven't reached this point in a while, which I'm really proud of. And even though you may be experiencing extreme guilt, I always encourage myself to be mindful of how I talk to myself at this point, and I try to avoid bashing myself in negative self talk. Even though the binge is complete, I did it, I overate, I still take the time to backtrack through my day and see what emotions or feelings that I left unprocessed, because that's big. You need to backtrack and see. Shout out to my therapist. Go to therapy, y'all, if you can. I'm pro therapy, because you want to know what triggers you. You want to know what emotions led me to this point, and pinpointing your emotions can help you use the techniques in advance to avoid getting there. So this was the hunger scale, guys. 1 through 10. I hope hearing how I apply these techniques encouraged you to research, reach out to a registered dietitian so you can get help along your journey. I have a few more tips before you leave me, so don't exit out just yet. Remember, your experience may differ from mine, so I suggest you utilize what I say, but switch it up for something that suits you best, and also do research, reach out for medical professional help. Another thing I try to do is eat slower than normal. That helps me be more present with my meals and the loved ones while I'm eating. This allows me to enjoy the food, and it helps me tune into my hunger as well with fewer distractions, just really present. And also switch up your scenery. Like I just said, fewer distractions. While eating outside, eat with a friend, eat in a new restaurant. I've noticed when I have fewer distractions, I'm less likely to overeat. So that is all, guys. I truly hope this video blessed you. I hope you're able to get something from it. Remember, I'm just a girl passionate about health and wellness, wanting you to experience the fullness of life. So if you related to any of my content, again, please reach out to a registered dietitian, nutritionist, medical professional, or the National Eating Disorder Helpline for some help and advice, because I want nothing but the best for you. I love you so much, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, love bugs, keep being great, keep being fabulous, and keep growing and glowing. Bye.